Yeah, see, I was talking about how people aren't willing to discuss things. All they want to do in like debates
It's
is,
argue.
yeah, they want to argue and fight and like, I'm going to prove you're wrong, And I'm like, see, I would not debate. Like, I'm kind of a fan of Christopher Hitchens because he was funny. Like
I never heard of him.
well, most Christians haven't, and I think that they really should. He's written a lot of books, and he's debated people like in the Catholic Church, for example.
Like what? What has he said about the Catholics?
Well, what's weird is he thinks the Catholics, they're just they do a lot of harm. Like his one of his criticisms is something about how they don't want to allow condoms. And he says it's very bad, like people who have AIDS and stuff, and there's all sorts of people who have like all these diseases, like AIDS and like in Africa and stuff. Like I heard it hit his stuff, and I read some stuff he's written. But see, here's the deal. Like when I'm listening to people debating the existence of God, they get sidetracked. And here's what I'm finding it's really about. The problem is not whether there's God or not. They get off topic and they start talking about what do religious people do. The good or bad things that they do. And that's the issue that I find the debates turn out to be about, and God kind of gets forgotten. You know what I mean? And so here's my thing is, I'm like, how can we make better choices? How can we do better things for everyone? Let's not fight over whether there's a God or not. Let's not fight about which is the right religion, because that just leads to more violence and hate and stereotyping. I don't like that.
So you believe in every religion?
No, not really. I don't really believe any religion. See, that's the thing, because there's.
Then what do you call yourself?
Well, I could call myself many things. I could call myself a son of a mother duck. But I call myself Chandler Isaac Klebs. But another thing I sometimes call myself is,
so you're not a Christian?
No, not anymore.
Oh.
No, see.
That's very sad.
Well, you have to understand, if I call myself a Christian, people are going to confuse me with people like,
That's because of the different sectors.
See, that's the problem. I want something that has an actual definition.
That's because there's a lot of split, because some of the Christians are for abortion and stuff like that.
Yeah.
That's why.
See,
which is what I really hate. So in our church, when I was an Anglican, we had to split away from the other people because they were believing things that were horrible. So that's what happened to me when I was living in California.
Yeah, see, this is exactly what I'm talking about, Miranda. Because you have some people who say that they're for abortion, that some Christians are for abortion and some are against. And I'm like, wait a minute.
You can't be Christian and be, pro-choice.
Yeah.
It just doesn't make sense.
I feel the same way about that. I feel like there are certain things, like I don't think people have to like the same foods or the same colors or the same TV shows. But when it comes to issues like
human life?
Yeah, human life, I feel like that is the primary thing. If we can't agree on that, you can't
at least agree on life.
Yes, I think we need to agree on life. And here's what I've noticed is that there is a division. People who call themselves Christians, but they're split half and half over issues like whether we should let babies live or whether we should kill them. And I'm like, that's a problem. And what I found out is with the atheists, there's the same problem. The people who don't even believe in God or anything like that, there's this problem. Some of them are for abortion and some of them are against. And I'm like, what does it mean to be a Christian anymore? What does it mean to be an atheist? What does it mean to be what does it mean to be human? What does it mean to be alive? They don't agree on the definition of what life is and when life begins, and they get all hung up on these debates, and they're crazy. Like, I watch abortion debates now.
I used to question God all the time, but I stopped.
See, I feel like the abortion issue is what took priority for me, because there's these debates over abortion, and I'm like, with me, I don't watch debates to decide what I believe. I already know. It's not.
The human life is just sick.
Yeah. I already know it's not nice to kill babies.
Did you hear about that person that they killed in the church because he was a doctor that killed babies?
Yes, I read about that in the newspaper.
Gosh.
And see, here's the deal. He was part of a church, you know.
That was sick, even.
Yeah.
You know.
And you know that made, when I read that, I'm like, you know, this is a problem.
It's a huge problem.
It is a problem, and so I don't feel like I realized, I decided that day, like, no, I can't call myself a Christian because it doesn't mean anything anymore.
Really?
Yeah, because
it does mean something.
Because everyone calls themselves that.
Oh, because everyone says, "Oh, I'm a Christian," but they don't really follow God. I see what you're saying.
Yeah, you see what I'm saying,
Mm-hmm.
and I feel like there are certain standards, and I think the life issue needs to be settled.
Everyone says, "Oh yeah, I'm a Christian," when really they don't practice it. You know.
Yeah.
They're doing things they shouldn't be doing.
Yeah, and so
kind of like how I used to be.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not discussing that. But.
Right. Yeah, well, you know, but that's what I'm saying is, it needs to have a meaning. And so, it's like if you call yourself a firefighter, you fight fires, right? You put out fires.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if I call myself a grocery bagger, which is what I do at Hy-Vee, I bag groceries. You know, I do that. Like, you don't call yourself something if it's not the real thing. If it doesn't really reflect who you are, it's just not something that you want to go by. And, you know, people like Fred Phelps and other people in the Westboro Baptist Church, they go around telling people that God hates them. You know, and they call themselves Christians. And I don't want to be confused with those people. And I'm just not one of them.
Some Christians are crazy, though.
Yeah, see, some are. And you know what's bad about that?
You can't judge them just because of some of them, though.
The trouble is that's what people do. Because they think, oh, well, all these people that I've known who called themselves Christians were crazy and mean. So then so all the Christians must be mean. And you know what? I made that mistake. And just thought Christians are all just crazy and mean.
Until you met me.
Right. But see, here's what it amounts to. There's nice and mean people. Okay? That's all there really is.
So what do you think of me? What do you think of me then? Tell me everything that you think of me.
Okay, I think you're nice. Yep, I think Miranda's pretty nice. You know? That's what it amounts to. So I don't care whether you call yourself a Christian or an ant or a donkey. You know, I don't care what you call yourself because that doesn't change who you are.
Well, who do you think that I am? Do I confuse you?
Sometimes I don't know who you are, and sometimes
Why?
I don't know. I don't know. You know, people are different.
It's almost 8.
That's right. I better stop this video, but in the next video I want to talk about who Miranda is, okay?